Adidas are dropping a 3D printed midsole sneaker in the $200 price range. That's unheard of. This is a first for the Adidas line that they've brought down the costs, they brought down the production of the 3D printed midsole line, and now they're in that sort of area where you can afford them. They're still kind of expensive. $200 I understand is a lot of money for a shoe, but it's similar to what else is out there, probably a bit cheaper than the 350 Yeezys, for example, about the same price as, say, a Jordan. Some Jordans are a bit cheaper, some a bit more expensive, but still $200. It's in that kind of ballpark. They used to be way beyond that, $300, $400, even $500 for some like this right here, the Daniel Arsham, which is one of my absolute grails. I think it's a beautiful shoe, very iconic. Would love to get my hands on those guys one day. But the shoe that we're talking about today is the first of this affordable 3D printed midsoles, and it's the Adidas ZX 2K 4D that we're talking about. But we're not only talking about that, we're also talking about some conspiracy theories today. Now, I'm not some kind of quack. I'm not some kind of wackadoodle who just believes anything that he reads on the internet. It's like, oh, it was written on Facebook, so it must be true. That's not me. But I do have a couple of kind of concerns about what's going on in the world right now. They're conspiracy theories that I've generated myself. They're not things that have been generated by people out there that I'm kind of mimicking. So there's a couple of things going on at the channel today. There's the sneaker content as usual, and we'll look at that Adidas ZX 2K 4D sneaker, but we'll also talk about two conspiracy theories that have me a little bit concerned about what's going on in the world right now. So without further ado, let's get into this video. This is the Talking About It 23 Sneaker Channel, Talking About It 23 Sneaker Channel Diz. My name's Chip Day, my name's Media Inside. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews. And today we've got this sort of two-part video. I'm going to do the conspiracy theory stuff first, and then we'll have a close-up look at the shoe. So conspiracy theory number one, I think I'll go with this right here. That's a link that was sent to me from my brother. And it's not unusual to get spam or phishing email, but what is unusual about this one is that A, it had his name and my name right, which is kind of unusual, and B, I'm in Japan and he's in the UK, and I called him just 24 hours ago, and within 24 hours I'd had a spam email with his name on it. And I've heard other stories that people have said about being on social media and stuff like that, and then stuff appearing where they're talking on Instagram, they're talking on Facebook or things like that, and then stuff appears in the ads down the side about what they just spoke about, and so I'm like, are they listening? And I wouldn't be surprised if social media is starting to listen in on what we're doing these days, or they're finding a way to track what we're talking about and not just what we're looking at and what we're clicking on. So that's concern number one. Concern number two is about a thunderstorm that rolled through here today. It's it's a bad time of year in Tokyo, Japan for the weather. The weather is not good. It's called rainy season, so it rains a lot, but the weather's been really weird recently, and it's made me think of disaster movies, a lot of disaster movies, but specifically one that's kind of it's a bit of a B disaster movie, if you ask me. It's called The Core, where they actually have to go into the centre of the earth, which is physically impossible, and solve a problem that's going on in there. But in that film, they talk about like these massive lightning strikes that go on around the world, and it causes problems, throughout the world and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know, the weather patterns in the last year or two have been really weird, and I'm wondering if there's something that they're not telling us about. There's something going on with the ozone, or there's something happening to the sun, or there's something wrong with the center of the earth or whatever. You've seen all these disaster movies in the last 10 years. There was 2012 was one, there was The Day After Tomorrow was another, and all these disaster movies that revolved around something like global shifts on the planet. So I'm kind of a bit worried about those things. So that's two things that have cropped up in the last 24 hours that kind of worry me. But what doesn't worry me is this shoe. But what I'm going to do is what I do all the time, is when something's going on in my real life, I don't let it interrupt my video, I leave it in. And I'm going to step away because one of my dogs is making an awful noise, so I'll be back in a minute. I'm back. One of my dogs, I've got two dogs, and one of them was making an awful noise. I don't know what was wrong with her. But anyway, what I usually do, and hopefully what I have done, is I've left what was probably about a minute and a half of just green screen in the video, but shrunk it down to 5 or 6 seconds of sped up video time. But like I say this in the videos a lot, that I don't like to sort of cut them, and I don't like to present anything other than an authentic me to you, and that also includes my dog. And actually right behind the camera is the windows that look out onto my balcony and over over the city of Tokyo. I live on the 7th floor, so I've got a great view. And there was a big flash in the sky just now. It's late at night, so I think what's wrong with her is she's running away from a thunderstorm. So it's ironic that I was just talking about thunderstorms, and here we've got another one. So with any luck, you know, I'll prove my point by in the middle of this video there being a massive clap of thunder and a big flash of lightning. So, but that's unlikely to happen. But you know what is likely to happen is that I'll get on to talking about this shoe, and Lord knows how long this video's ended up being, and whether or not you're interested in the shoe or the conspiracy theories or whatever. But you know what, it's my channel and my content, and you know sometimes I go a bit off the reservation. So, but let's get into this shoe. Like I said, it's an affordable 3D printed midsole. Very interesting to see that. But there's a couple of interesting details on it. Now, I've been waiting to do this video for a long time. On Sneaker News, I don't know if you know the site Sneaker News. It was up there and it said something like, I can't remember the title it said, but something like Adidas ZX 2K Boost 4D. Okay, and then when I clicked on that, it took me to a page about the history of Adidas, and I was doing that for about a week and a half, and I was getting really frustrated. Why can't I see the shoe Boost in 4D? Is there going to be like a Boost midsole wrapped, you know, like encased within a 4D printed midsole? Man, that would be cool. Boost in 4D, you know, 3D coming together. That would be an amazing thing. So that whole Boost thing in there, I was like really excited by it. But then when they actually worked out the link, and the link did go to the information about this shoe, in the page about the shoe, it didn't have anything about Boost, and I can't say anything about Boost in this shoe, so it kind of frustrated me that A, I waited this long to finally find out about the shoe, and B, it wasn't what I thought it would be. So, but you know, maybe you guys know more about it, maybe you know there's something about Boost in there that I don't know about, or if there's more to the story than I know. But that was a little bit of a disappointment for me. I was kind of hoping for some kind of innovation between Boost and 3D printed midsoles, but as far as I can see, it didn't come. But that's just me. Now, I think these are a great looking shoe, and they actually look very much like the ZX, was it 4000 line? There's an awful lot of ZXs out there, ZX 8000, ZX 10000. I think it was the ZX 4000 line that I've done quite a few videos for. I'll find one of them and throw it up, because you can see there's quite a commonality, quite a lot of commonality between those shoes, which were a lot more expensive than these guys, and then these ones here, especially the hits of colour on there with the silver and grey and the black, and then that lime sort of standard default 3D printed midsole. But these guys today, they look pretty good. I think it's a great looking shoe. I love the 3D printed midsole. I think it's a really cool innovation. Like I said, those Daniel Arshams are a grail for me. But there's one small detail on these guys that I just wish they hadn't done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the back of the shoe where you've got the heel, and you can see that the heel cup, I think I'll say, not counted because it's quite a big thing on there, is black, but it's sort of wrapped around with what looks like a kind of silver, almost cage, and that's okay. And then you come forward to the lacing system from there, and you get to the laces, and wrapped around the laces is that same kind of silver motif. It's like a border or something that's stitched on around there, and it's a bit questionable when we get to the laces, but they've got to put something up there for the structure of the shoe, so you know, okay. But then when you get to the toe box, there's a big sort of chunk on there that doesn't seem to serve much purpose at all as far as structure or the actual physical representation of the shoe goes, as opposed to the sort of aesthetic representation of the shoe. And I don't think they needed that on there. I think this would have looked really clean if they'd taken that off the toe box, and indeed if they'd been able to work out how to keep it off the lacing system and the heel counter on the back. So you're looking at it right now. Hopefully I'll put up the lateral side of the shoe, and you can have a really good look at it and see in those three different places, the toe box, the lacing system, and the heel cup, that kind of border of silver on there. Now staying on that, imagine what this shoe would have looked like if all three of those details had been gone. I think it would have looked really clean and would have looked really, really fine. So for me, that's the one detail on these shoes that I'm kind of like, you know, I don't think that was necessary. I think it was a bit overkill. What I don't think is overkill, it's a bit unusual, but I really dig the heel on these guys. There's a really nice, it looks like suede, something very, very soft and light grey right down the sort of length from the top to the bottom of the heel on there. And it's the design of it, the way it's sort of placed on there, the way it fits in with the rest of the shoe, it just really looks great. And that's one of the things that the ZX 4000 line has done really well, is just sort of hits the suede and hits the sort of premium leather and stuff, just gently placed throughout the shoe. And in the case of this one, they have exactly that on the heel there. That looks really, really good. And then the last thing to do is have a look at that outsole on these guys. Usually they do something a bit special with the outsole, so it's got a few different colours on there, and this doesn't really disappoint as far as that goes. 3 different colours on the outsole. It doesn't quite have the pop of the ZX 4000 4Ds, but you know, when you're paying only $200 for a shoe like this, then of course they're going to have some places on it that are not quite as premium as those really expensive shoes that have dropped in the past. But all in all, it's a really cool looking shoe. I think it could very well be that like that marker that marks the point of like affordable 3D printed midsoles, and now we're moving into an era where they can maybe actually mass produce these things at a fairly cheap price, and that could be good for the market and good for us who want to get our hands on them. The Daniel Arshams, they aren't going to be coming for $200 anytime soon, but you know what, we can dream. Speaking of dreaming, it is 2 o'clock in the morning. And I need to get off, and it's Saturday morning, Sunday morning now, and this is Sunday evening's video. I'm not going to edit it tonight, I'll just do that tomorrow morning when I wake up. I'm going to check off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. Thank you for listening to me drone on about conspiracy theories. Let me know if you agree that there is something funky going on with the weather right now, or if you know more about, say, that, like the social media listening in onto our conversations and then using that to, send out spam and things like that. Or if you want to talk about the shoe. But for now, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. But you know what? I do this every single day. So that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.